And then she just randomly came out with, so what would you rate me out of 10? And I, being like a 20-year-old guy, had obviously been told that there was like no such thing as a 10. So I was like 9, thinking she's going to be well happy with this. Yeah. And she started kicking off.
Hello and welcome back to Single Sounds, the podcast that showcases single Londoners in a new light for dating, putting personality first. My name is Katie Mack and I'm the host and creator of Single Sounds with a mission to create positive first date experiences. If you enjoyed this week's episode, why not tell just one friend? And that would mean that the audience of this podcast would double, as would the potential match rate. But if talking to people is too much for you this week, reviewing the podcast on your chosen platform is another great way to help the podcast reach new audiences. This week's character is a 6-foot man looking for a long-term relationship. A unicorn? Maybe. He is looking for someone who can laugh at themselves and won't be asking for a rating out of 10. He loves a long voice note, ladies, and has a controversial opinion of ordering a tea after a night out. Okay, hi. Welcome to Single Sounds.
Hi.
Let's get to know you.
Okay.
Who are you sexually attracted to?
I'm sexually attracted to women.
Lovely. And what are you looking for?
I don't have necessarily any physical preference in terms of women. I think I'm looking for somebody who doesn't take themselves too seriously, able to sort of laugh at themselves, a bit silly. And yeah, I mean, ideally, sort of long-term relationship.
Cool. Any height, age preferences?
I'm 6 foot, so but I feel like everyone on Hinge is probably also 6 foot. So.
That's true. But whether they actually are,
there are no 5'11" men, I hear.
I can validate that he is. You know.
Yeah. Thank you, appreciate that. So, but I've known if there's a bit taller than me, I'm not worried about that necessarily. And age, I'm 28, nearly 29. So, yeah, that it's probably like 20. I'd probably like 30. Yeah, I say like early 30s to mid 20s, 25. Yeah.
I think you're doing well.
You can tell I've really thought about this.
Most people just think back to their Hinge settings. They're like, what are they? But then a lot of people backtrack saying like, actually, I don't want those.
I'm quite new to Hinge, to be honest. I can't even remember what I actually put.
That's fair.
Hence my incompetence.
And hence why you're on this podcast.
Hence why I'm on this podcast.
Way more fun.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, where would you like to date?
So live in southwest London, but anywhere in London really would be preferable, I think. Yeah.
Okay. What are your 2 truths and a lie?
First one is that when I was younger, my uncle allowed me to compete with him in crufts. My uncle's not a dog, I should specify. As in, my uncle has dogs.
As in, he was running around with them doing the agility or whatever.
Yeah, and he allowed me to sort of be part of the team. Sometimes to get like a little added person, extra person.
Oh my goodness!
A little companion. I was like, yeah.
I used to love watching that when I was younger. So.
Yeah.
I hope it was the agility. I'm the only one worth watching.
It was like either me or my uncle just running around.
You were on the side calling the dog. I feel like sometimes they have extra callers.
Yeah, exactly.
They get distracted.
Yeah. Doing really good work. My second one is that I was selected to play basketball for England, but never actually made it on the court, so I just sat on the bench the whole time.
No. Oh, okay, that one's not true. I guess they have to have subs, right?
You do have to have subs.
But you'd think they'd give you at least one go if they were really winning.
Yeah. You would hope that.
Oh.
And then my last one is that both of my parents taught at the school that I went to.
No, that's suicide. I had one, and that was enough.
Oh, really? You had one?
Yeah, my mum was a PE teacher.
Okay.
It was dramatic because people would say that I got picked for the team because of that.
Yeah.
There's always some drama.
Which teams?
Just like netball. Netball was the catty one. There was this other girl that wanted to be wing defence. It was like a whole thing.
Oh God.
Hope she's not listening.
Yeah. She's like, I knew there was nepotism.
Yeah. I'm gonna go basketball's the lie.
Nope, crufts is the lie.
No, I nearly went for crufts. I was like, damn.
Yeah, crufts is the lie. my uncle does have a lot of dogs, and that's why I tend to use that like in a general setting because I'm like, oh, it could have happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went all the way to Denmark and
No.
didn't play.
You just had a nice time.
Oh, yeah, well, it wasn't even that nice.
Yeah, it was.
As in, like, Denmark is nice, but
you wouldn't get to drink, right? Because
can't drink.
or go out, yeah.
I was like 15.
Training, peak physical fitness.
Yeah, I was 15. Basketball is not a well-funded sport
in the UK.
in the UK, so it was like you're just staying in the bins, basically.
Oh gosh.
You're training, you're eating like at the hotel, eating loads, and then doing no exercise because you don't get to play
on the bench.
Yeah, so it's a lovely couple of days that.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that was a lie for your benefit.
Yeah, it would have. I mean, at the time, I was just buzzing to go and get kit.
Should have known.
I was just I just loved kit because I was 15. I was like, just give me the kit and I'll be happy enough.
Yeah, that's true. Did it have GB all over it?
It was like Team England.
Oh, it was just England.
Yeah. Oh god, sorry. It was just England.
I don't know
and
why
you still didn't
like...
make it.
No, but it's in like, you know how I always think like more cringe. Like,
yeah,
GB's like cool, but England, like when people have English flags on like their, you know, houses, cars, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
GB feels a bit better.
where I'm originally from, there are a lot of those kind of places.
Yeah, and I'm not talking when like the football's on. I'm talking like just in general.
Yeah.
Just for life, just England flags everywhere.
Yeah, I used to.
Not sure.
Yeah, I know exactly. And you'd be like, just grew up seeing it all the time. And it's only when you got a bit older, you're like,
it's not normal.
It's kind of not. Or it's more you go other places and you're just like, okay, maybe it's just the Midlands.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I was going to ask where, because I could hear it a little bit in your voice with basketball.
Yeah. So most people think I'm kind of southern.
Yeah, 90% southern.
Yeah, I'm
10%.
I'm not any percent southern actually. I'm 0% southern.
Yeah.
I'm from Derby, and my mum's from Glasgow. My dad's from Birmingham.
Wow.
And somehow this happened.
Yes. Now you're in London.
So now I'm in London.
And you sound like you're from London.
Yeah, people do think that.
That's so funny.
But it's nice because they think, oh, it's fine, he's from London.
Back to dating. Yeah. What is your worst dating story?
Okay, I'm going in first for this one.
Yeah, we're going straight in.
Okay.
For the entertainment.
So I will preface this in that I was 20, so quite a long time ago for me. And I'd broken up with an ex-girlfriend who was like my first girlfriend, and almost immediately decided to fall in love or just like with somebody, not somebody else. It was a friend's friend, and they were visiting my university, and we got on pretty well, and she basically invited me down to her place. Like she wasn't at uni at the time, she was about to go to uni, so she lived in like Bristol with her parents.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, do you want to come down to Bristol for a few days? And I was like, I should also say recently broken up with her boyfriend, so nobody was in a place to make any good decisions at 20 coming out of relationships. And I thought this obviously like would be fine, and like nothing could possibly go wrong, and it would all be great. It's just a fun experience. It was an experience. So I ended up it was for like the Easter holidays, so like maybe it was like a week away or something. I ended up driving down to Bristol, and pulled up at my friend also lived down there. So they were like school friends originally. She couldn't really believe that I was going. So I turned up to her parents' house and met her parents.
And this is kind of like a first date, really.
It's basically a first date. I met her parents and her younger sister, and then we all basically like went out to like a curry house in Clifton.
Oh yeah, that's the nice bit. I know that.
Yeah. It was nice. It was all really nice. Yeah, nice than where I'm from. And it was actually genuinely a really nice evening. Yeah, her dad was like chatting to me and was getting on and everything like that. Everything seemed to be like going pretty well. And then we came back. I was a little bit drunk, and we sort of ended up, together in bed. And there had been some, obviously, like intimacy.
Yes, that's fine. Keep it PG.
I don't know why I'm like being
all coy.
Not talking to my grandma or something. Like,
it's all right.
There was some intimacy and romance.
It's anonymous. You can say whatever you like.
Oh dear. So I'm bad for it. I'm blushing horrendously at the moment, but that is very me. And after said infancy, she like a bit of time had passed. We were chatting, just getting on, stuff like that. And then out of the blue, she and also throughout, she'd sort of been like comparing me to her ex-boyfriend, but all in like positive ways. So I didn't necessarily mind that. We were like better than, not necessarily, but
Yeah.
I'll leave that there. And then she just randomly came out with, so what would you rate me out of 10? Like, not in relation to anything.
Oh.
Just like,
just in general.
a general rating.
Like you would in the guy's bathroom or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Locker room.
It was very much like that. And I, being like a 20-year-old guy, had obviously been told that there was like no such thing as a 10. And there was that's the general like assumption.
Oh, no.
So I was like, but obviously I'm going to say hi.
Yeah.
And she was, to be fair, she's, in my eyes. So I was like, let's do a 9. And I was like, 9? Thinking she's going to be well happy with this.
Yeah.
Because she also must know that 10s don't exist.
And you've only just met.
And we've only just met. And we're basically in a relationship already. And she started kicking off.
Really?
She was like, 9? My ex-boyfriend would have given me a 10.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, no. Now I'm seeing the other side of this comparison.
Yeah.
And she started shouting quite a lot to the point where I was like, her parents, who have almost definitely just heard something else happen, are now hearing this happen, and I feel incredibly awkward. She sort of effectively storms out into one of the other rooms, and I just have like an absolute like meltdown panic, and basically just grab everything that I have, get in my car, and drive back to Derby.
Yeah, fair.
It's like 2 a.m. at this point. It's like a 3-4 hour drive.
You know what? I'm not judging 20-year-old you. I'm not sure I'd know what to do.
I just panicked so much. So I basically was meant to stay for a couple of days, ended up staying one night, well, not even a full night. I didn't even see the sunrise.
It's good you could drive.
Yeah.
And not too much to drink.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I'd probably only had like 2 beers.
Yeah, but they would have gone by then with food and whatever.
Yeah. Like, I felt all right. To be honest, the adrenaline was just so much.
Yeah, he like, get me out.
Yeah. He was like, let's get...
What would she have told her parents in the morning? Like, oh yeah, he's there.
Because
he rated me a 9 out of 10.
I do not know. And I never saw her again. Obviously.
Yeah.
Because girls tend not to like it when you do that. I learn now.
Don't leave in the middle of the night.
If you leave in the middle of the night, girls generally don't like that. 20-year-old me, that's a lesson I've learned. So,
And don't rate. Just don't say rating.
Don't rate. So any prospective suitors out there, I've learned those lessons. I've learned them the hard way.
Don't be asking for a rating because you won't be getting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many lessons learned. We can move on to, I guess this is maybe more lessons learned. What is your toxic trait?
My toxic trait, this is much more just like chilled. Okay. So I love like a long voice note.
Oh, you do? Well, this is perfect.
To give and to take.
I love I do both sides.
I do both sides. But I probably, maybe the toxic part of my toxic trait is that I tend to go, if somebody sends me like a 3-minute voice note,
you'll do double.
Then I'll be, I'm not going to double it straight away. Okay.
I will. I can't seem to condense my words.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. I receive 1-minute voice notes and I'm like, have you done that?
Yeah.
Might have to be at least 2 or 3 minutes.
The first minute is just like collecting thoughts. There's no like thinking about what you're going to say beforehand. It's just first minute of going, I thought it'd just be easier on a voice note.
Yeah.
And then going,
mine's normally what I'm doing. I'm like, right, I'm just walking to this and doing this. Like that's the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, you can kill quite enough time
telling them what I'm doing, yeah.
So yeah, I'll end up being like, if somebody sends me a 3-minute, I'll send like a 3 or like a 4-minute or 4.5. But then by the time I've got a few friends who I know who will willingly take the long voice notes and who wants it. And sorry, it sounds really, I didn't actually intend for that to sound sexual.
Who will take it?
Who will accept it? And so yeah, then they're the ones that will also almost. But I probably call it. Wait, actually, what is my longest voice note? Maybe over 20 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I can compete. Mine, I've
What's
sent
yours?
a few 20.
20 minutes.
I think I've never done over 24, I want to say.
Very specific.
Yeah,
Which means
I'm really trying to think. But I've done over 20 like a fair few times.
Yeah.
And when I do, I would normally send a little text being like, sorry for the 20 minutes. And at that point, me and my friends call it podcast.
Yeah.
It's not a voice note.
This is exactly this is how I use them. And I'll and other people must do this as well, right? Where you listen to, and I don't necessarily do this in I want to listen to myself back, but it's but you I send it and then I'll listen to.
Me too.
Especially
if it's a good story, I'll listen the whole way back and really enjoy it.
Yeah,
because I want to know how well I told the funny story.
Exactly. It's like giving yourself. You can give yourself feedback.
And sometimes I don't want to listen to anything else, and I'm just like, I'm just going to listen back to what I've said. Or the other option is sometimes if I send someone I'm a bit in my feels voice note, and I'm trying to chat out a problem.
Yeah.
Then I'll re-listen back to see how well I communicated the problem.
Yeah. So in terms of a lot of mine were from a breakup. Yeah, and so that was a lot of 20. There were a lot of 20 minuters.
Yeah.
in going through that period of time.
Okay, and what is your moan of the moment?
My moan of the moment, I feel like, is going to be just a fairly one that a lot of people, I would assume most people have, is when people not just stop in the street, but when people about 180 turn in the street.
Oh yeah.
There is a way to turn around in the street in London.
Give lessons.
There is a way to do it. You sort of go off to the side. You get out. It's like being on a motorway.
Yeah.
Where you have to come off.
Go into the hard shoulder.
You have to go either on the hard shoulder. If it's an emergency, hit the hard shoulder, or you come off at the junction and then you come up and go. So you got to go off, get out the main stream.
Oh, I turn into a little side road.
Exactly, side road.
Yeah.
You've got to side road it. You can't just about turn on the fucking M1.
That's a great analogy.
There are rules. Imagine walking down Oxford Street. Or
no, people do it.
People do it all the time.
It's what are you looking at?
It's obviously the worst because it's like tourist central.
Yeah.
But people do it in the city as well. People do it all over, and I'm like, you must live here as well. This can't be just me.
Yeah, no.
This can't be just me that this is annoyed.
And what is your most controversial opinion?
My controversial opinion is after a night out, you're going to get your food from McDonald's, KFC.
Important decision.
Wherever you're going, one of those sort of outlets. What people are always choosing fizzy drinks, at the end of the night, or people are going.
Okay.
I feel like that's the more done thing. They'll choose a Coke or whatever to the end of the night. I always go cup of tea. Always cup of tea, and
a bit rogue.
I've been laughed out of KFC for this. Right?
I don't know why KFC makes it worse. I feel like McDonald's is more normal, but KFC, I didn't even know they did tea.
But what would you order if you were going because obviously
milkshake.
Going meal, you go milkshake. Yeah, okay. I'm not against that.
And you just sober up.
I feel like a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people get fancy Coke.
Yeah, I'd get a
Coke
if there was no milkshakes, which often happens at McDonald's.
It does always happen.
So.
But
to be honest, now I'm not a fan. I don't always get a drink. That's quite rogue.
But if you're getting it, do you not get a meal?
No, I am.
Go on. We could switch this one around. I'm interviewing you now.
This is a quick little insert. I order the 99p hamburgers and the just the burgers on their own.
An array of them.
Two of them. 2 chicken mayos. They're also 99p.
Okay.
So I've got 4 burgers for the price of
I'm
not even
not
a meal.
That. I'm definitely not against that. I'll trial it next time.
It's my brother that did it. Yeah. This is where I got it from. We went to McDonald's and he ordered 5 hamburgers. That was his meal. It was £5.
I've got a friend who's also he used to go to McDonald's and he'd be like, I'm just going to get some double cheesies. And you get 4 double cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you don't need the drink and the chips. They're waste.
You know what? I don't not agree with that. So yeah,
but
cup of tea.
Let's go back to that.
And so cup of tea. I got laughed out of Brixton KFC for this. The lady literally, cause it can get quite chaotic in there. And the lady who was doing the shouting out, putting the orders together, was like, who the fuck just ordered
she judged
a cup of tea?
The staff.
And I was drunk, so I was like, me? Thinking it was because she was going to give it to me. She was just like, what? And then like other people just like giggling. I was like, felt incredibly judged.
Wow.
But yeah.
It's not a safe space, is KFC in Brixton.
It's not. Well, neither is McDonald's, to be fair.
Oh, you've been laughed at McDonald's as well.
Well, but no, it's just the Brixton McDonald's is chaos, isn't it? It's just.
Can we talk through like the rationale of ordering a tea after a night out?
Because it's
just
just
bedtime.
It's
ritual?
like Like I'm not saying I have the whole tea, but it's just like it's warm. So what you do is you say don't want the milk, and you can leave the tea to like stew for a bit. You take it on your walk home, eat the food either on the walk home, depends how close you live to the outlet, and then when you get home you can whack the milk in yourself, because all that that the long life stuff you get is
it's awful,
is rank. So you just want to then gives the bag time to stew.
Right. So your tea's like ready made at home.
And your tea's ready made, and then it's just like nice. It's just warm. It's comforting. You don't need to have like the whole thing, because that's obviously a fair bit like, I don't know, people might not have
quite
tea
good for hydration.
And people have tea.
No.
Well, maybe not, but people have tea like all the time when they're like before bed.
Yeah, before bed is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But actually, tea's a dehydrant. Need to get that fact in there.
I'm well aware. But I think if you're drunk,
you
I think
don't
alcohol
mind.
Is also.
But then, are you making your hangover worse? Whereas at least with a milkshake, I'm trying to help.
There's nothing bad in a milkshake.
But it's not a dehydrant. Maybe the sugar is. I don't know.
See, this is controversial, because even you're sort of being like, this is.
You're dehydrating yourself and getting judged. Pretty controversial. I mean, I've never been with anyone who's ordered a tea. Okay, final one. What are your non-negotiables?
Non-negotiable. I sort of maybe alluded to this a bit earlier, but I think somebody who doesn't take themselves too seriously is really like able to laugh at themselves. Not too serious, but somebody that kind of at the same time is quite not necessarily driven, but like is passionate about something, and does something that they like. Doesn't have to be their work they're passionate about, but they have stuff that they're like passionate about and interested in. Yeah, those are probably the two kind of things. That's cool. I'm allowed to, but
yeah, you're allowed. You're allowed as many as you want. Wouldn't recommend it, but people don't tend to like a list.
Yeah. Okay, noted.
But it's just really attractive when someone has something else going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, I think you want to like benefit each other's like lives, and like part of that is, the person that you're with being able to like teach you things, and like you finding out things that you wouldn't have, that either your stuff you're not into, or things like that before. Like I would never really like, musicals is something that I now love, and was never like really brought up on going to musicals or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like my parents were also PE teachers.
No way. We didn't actually speak about that.
Yeah, they were both PE teachers. And not that you can't be a PE teacher and not like musicals, but like in terms of like a very like, in terms of like creative household, sporty household, mine was definitely like a sporty household.
Yeah. And
so it's only like, well, I guess since like moving down here and having like friends and other people like introduce me to like musicals, it's been it's great. And I'll try to go to I went to quite a few last year.
Yeah, I love musicals.
So yeah, it's like stuff like that. Just
unparalleled entertainment.
Yeah. Love a shing shong.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's do your bestie rec.
The first thing you'll learn about this man, and that's because he definitely won't fail to mention it, but he absolutely loves CrossFit. It does beg the question, do you even CrossFit if you don't tell everyone you do CrossFit? Yep, he's one of them. This man and his team often compete on Friday nights, and apparently they all go out afterwards. I'm not 100% sure whether it's a fitness club or a good excuse for a drinking club, but either way, who doesn't appreciate a nice, clean jerk and a cracking rig? If he's not hanging out at the gym, you'll likely find this man at Twickenham, drinking beers and watching the boys toss the egg, before swiftly moving on to tacos and tequila in Tooting Market. Ladies, if you like the sound of this, he could be the Juan for you after all. If rugby isn't your thing though, he also has 2 season tickets to the top secret comedy club in Soho, so laughs are pretty much guaranteed on your date either way. He funds his high octane lifestyle by working as an asset manager in the big smoke. I've been told a large part of his job is to smooze his clients, a skill set in which he is pretty well rehearsed. He's a sleek, sophisticated, and charming individual. And by that, I mean, don't be surprised if your date ends up being a little less smoozing and a little more smooching. One thing I'd advise you don't get accustomed to, though, are mid-week lie-ins. Part and parcel of being a high-flying city boy means his alarm clock is set for 5:45 a.m. every single morning, and even those not so single mornings. Anyway, get in there early, girls, because as you well know, the early bird catches the worm. And in this man's case, I've heard he's got a rather big one. Before submitting himself to the world of cross finance, he previously completed a ski season as a rep in Maribel. Excellent customer service was always top of the agenda, and believe me, girls, I'm sure you won't be left disappointed either. Put it this way, he'll teach you how to ski, and if you're lucky, he might even throw in some après as well. In summary, this man really has the full package. Having only just been made available in the market, make sure you act fast, because opportunities like this do not come around often. And finally, here's one last comment for you, mate. Hopefully someone will buy these semi-truths. Who knows? But speaking of semis, make sure you don't forget your special tablets. Best of luck and see you on the other side.
That is unbelievable.
It was a performance.
It was
a sales pitch.
That was incredibly well performed. I love that man. I love that man. Yeah. If I was going to be with one of my friends who was a male, it would probably be that.
3 minutes. Did already contest to that before we even pressed play.
Yeah, he's taken some like some pretty strong lines there.
Key highlights.
He's embellished me. I will say he has embellished me there. But you know, I guess if you can't do it, why can you? Oh dear.
Final round.
Okay.
This or that. Gonna make you be decisive.
I'm not prepared for this one, am I?
No.
There's nothing. Okay.
You don't know what's coming.
I'm not prepared full stop, to be honest.
Would you rather have your parents arrange your marriage or marry your most recent ex?
I'd probably marry my ex.
Fair. You don't trust your parents that much.
I trust my parents. I was going to say not like the least of any, but like in that department, I don't think I would necessarily trust them at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would definitely go with one. I trust them to pick someone decent.
I feel like that's what I probably should say here.
Well, I don't know.
But like...
Not necessarily. I'd like to think mine would do extensive research.
Yeah.
But maybe too much.
I just know exactly. I feel like I know who my parents would pick.
And it's not. Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
and it's not, yeah.
And I'm like, that's not what I... Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have hands that kept growing as you got older or feet that kept growing as you got older?
These are great questions, genuinely great questions.
Yeah, I take a lot of time over these.
Yeah, probably feet, because I feel like
really?
There's maybe a bit of like logic to this.
I'm really interested to hear the logic.
Getting around like with as the feet obviously get like to a sizable size, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where it becomes like a bit problematic. At least the increases the weight. The weight is going to be lower. So whereas if your hands are still growing, like I guess it depends at the rate of change.
Yeah, the rate of growth is pretty key here.
Like you can't really like do anything. Imagine like trying to like
that's true.
Pick something off a shelf and your hands are like 10 times the size they are. You just like you wouldn't be able to like be dexterous. Good.
Okay. Would you rather always feel like someone is following you but no one is, or always feel like someone is watching you even though no one is?
Watching me.
Yeah, I went with that one.
Yeah.
Following's scary.
Yeah, following is scary.
And you're like constantly looking around. I feel like watching is more of an internal feeling.
Yeah. Some people like that as well.
True.
Being watched.
Yeah. Like
I'm not saying that's me.
No.
I've heard.
But if you're like someone who likes to be on stage or on TV or whatever, that
maybe you
might feel comfortable.
Yeah, you just then adapt your personality to being more of a show.
But yeah, I agree with that one. Would you rather have every pet that gets lost? I've given you really hard ones. I'm sorry. I just remembered what this one is. They're really like thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Would you rather have every pet that gets lost end up in your house, or everyone's clothes that get lost get teleported to your house?
That is very tough.
It's really tough.
Like, my initial instinct was the pets.
Same. Because I think more clothes get lost today.
Yeah, more. Yeah, definitely. So the rate would be ridiculous.
And also people would at least want to come get their pet. Whereas like clothes, people won't even know they've lost it.
Yeah. And it's also like a lot of the clothes that are going to be lost, like they're probably not going to be like the clothes. They might not be your size.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to be your size.
I was thinking, could you just set up like a charity shop with all these lost clothes? And at least you could like try and get rid of it. Whereas like if someone's abandoned the pet, let's say.
You just turn your house into bats.
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do then? Like feed them all? Like, I don't know.
The expense would be a lot. Whereas you could actually maybe make money
from the clothes. And like
so
way less drama.
That's the secret. That's the right answer.
Okay.
We've really put that question through its paces, I think.
We did. Would you rather blink twice the normal rate, or not be able to blink for 5 minutes, but then have to close your eyes for 10 seconds for every 5 minutes?
I know, like, my eyes incredibly strained from like not
no,
blinking, or is it just
there's
this is
no
the
health
way of thing?
benefits either way? It's just like how you are. So I guess like either you blink twice normal rates, that might be a bit annoying.
I think I
go for other people.
I think I go for the 5 minutes one.
I don't think you will after my discussion.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to drive.
Oh yeah.
Because you'd have to have your eyes shut for 10 seconds.
Live in London. I don't drive a car around London.
But like
I can drive.
So many other options, like when you really shouldn't have your eyes closed. Like,
how long do you have to keep them closed for? 10 seconds.
But like obviously in a car that's way too long.
Yeah.
It's a long time. I counted it out when I wrote this out. I tried it out. I was like 1, 2, 3. And then the first thing I thought of was like, I can't drive.
Yeah.
And crash.
Or you'd have to always have somebody with you in the passenger seat.
What, to take the wheel?
To then be like, you just take the wheel.
They can't reach the pedals. You need one of those learner driver cars.
Okay, you could have to have one of those learner driver cars. There's also ways to get around
I just think blinking twice is the answer.
Yeah, okay, blinking twice is. But yeah, fine. All right, fine. Yeah, you win that one. Fine.
Oh no, that's the end, and I don't want to finish on that note of defeatism.
It's okay. It's probably apt.
Apt to the dating experience.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not.
No.
Do you have anything you want to close with?
No, that was a lot of fun.
So if you have your own passions, are willing to accept long voice notes, or willing to give ordering a tea after a night out a go, contact the podcast on Instagram @SingleSounds to be in with a chance of a date with this character. The link is in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next Tuesday.